Popular culture in India, its dimensions. In this lesson, I explain to you how the popular culture, which is also known as pop culture and mass culture, has become very crucial for learning about transforming Indian culture, the plethora of visual images it offers in various formats. Elias studied different dimensions of culture in terms of fine arts such as painting, drawing, sculpture, dance, drama, etc. Now the fine arts have got integrated into different formats of new forms. One of the oldest one of such forms is film or cinema. The latest form of it is video, the digital form. Documentaries have added their own contribution to enriching these forms of fine arts. For instance, a documentary on Indian fine arts is an excellent contribution that a student of visual communication can do as a project work. Such projects can also be done in focusing on minor areas for a short film or a short documentary. What is required here for a student of visual communication is to understand what she or he has to look for in designing a project on popular culture. To enrich the students by giving basic information as what constitutes the definition of a popular culture. To inform the students in many ways as to how to understand popular culture. To enlighten the student as to how popular culture has grown out of traditional Indian culture into a modern art form. To educate the student about different components of popular culture. Popular culture is generally recognized by members of a society as a set of practices, beliefs and objects that are dominant or prevalent in society at a given point in time. Popular culture also encompasses the activities and feelings produced as a result of interaction with these dominant objects. Heavily influenced in modern times by mass media, the collection of ideas permeates the everyday life of people in a given society. Therefore, popular culture has a way of influencing an individual attitudes towards certain topics. However, there are various ways to define pop culture. Because of this, popular culture is something that can be defined in a variety of conflicting ways by different people across different contexts. It is generally viewed in contrast to other forms of culture such as folk culture, working class culture or high class culture, and also through different theoretical perspectives such as psychoanalysis, structuralism, postmodernism and more. The most common pop culture categories are entertainment such as movies, music, television and video games, sports news as in people or places in the news, politics, fashion, technology and slang. Popular culture is sometimes viewed as being trivial and dumbed down in order to find consensual acceptance from the mainstream. As a result, it comes under heavy criticism from various non-mainstream sources, most probably religious groups and counter-cultural groups which deem it superficial, consumerist or otherwise corrupt. The term popular culture was coined in the 19th century or earlier. Traditionally, popular culture was associated with poor education and with lower classes as opposed to the official culture and higher education of the upper classes. Victorian era Britain experienced social changes that resulted in increased literacy rates, and with the rise of capitalism and industrialization, people began to spend more money to entertainment. Labeling penny dreadful, the Victorian equivalent of video games. The Guardian in 2016 described penny fiction as British first taste of mass-produced popular culture for the young. A growing consumer culture and an increased capacity for travel via the newly invented railway, the first public railways, Stockton and Darlington Railway, opened in northeast England in 1825, created both a market for cheap popular literature and the ability for its distribution on a large scale. The first penny serials were published in 1830s to meet this demand. The stress in the distinction from official culture became more pronounced towards the end of 19th century, a usage that became established by the interbellum period. From the end of World War II, following major cultural and social changes brought by mass media innovations, the meaning of popular culture began to overlap with those of mass culture, media culture, image culture, consumer culture and culture for mass consumption. Social and cultural changes in the United States were a pioneer in this with respect to Western countries. The abbreviated form pop for popular as in pop music dates from the late 1950s. Although the terms of pop and popular are in some cases used interchangeably and their meaning partially overlap, the term pop is narrower. Pop is specific of something containing qualities of mass appeal, while popular refers to what has gained popularity regardless of its style. According to author John Stoddy, there are various definitions of popular culture. The quantitative definition of culture has the problem that much high culture. Example, television for dramatization of Jane Austen is also popular. Pop culture is also defined as the culture that is left over when we have decided what high culture is. However, many works straddled the boundaries. William Shakespeare and Charles Dickens. A third definition equates pop culture with mass culture and ideas. This is seen as a commercial culture mass produced for mass consumption by mass media. From a Western European perspective, this may be compared to American culture. Alternatively, pop culture can be defined as an authentic culture of the people, but this can be problematic as there are many ways of defining the people. Story argued that there is a political dimension to popular culture. Neo-Gramscian hegemony theory sees popular culture as a site of struggle between resistance of subordinate groups in society and the forces of incorporation operating the interests of dominant groups in society. A postmodernist approach to popular culture would no longer recognize the distinction between high and popular culture. Story claims that popular culture emerged from the urbanization of the Industrial Revolution. Studies of Shakespeare by Weeman, Barber or Bristol, for example, locate much of the characteristic vitality of his drama in its participation. Renaissance popular culture. While contemporary practitioners like Darlow Foe and John McGrath use popular culture in Gramscian sense that includes ancient folk tradition, the Commedia dell'arte, for example, popular culture is constantly evolving and occurs uniquely in place and time. It forms currents and eddies and represents a complex of mutually interdependent perspectives and values that influence society and its institutions in various ways. For example, certain currents of pop culture may originate from or diverge into a subculture representing perspectives within which the mainstream popular culture has only limited familiarity. Items of popular culture most typically appeal to a broad spectrum of the public. Important contemporary contributions for understanding what popular culture means have been given by the German researcher Ronald Doss, who studies the impact of extra-European cultures in North America, Asia, especially in Latin America. We have studied earlier the different ways the folk arts or folklore culture could influence Indian tradition and modern arts. Here you study a slightly different version as a supplement to previous versions. Adaptations based on traditional folklore provides a source of popular culture. This early layer of cultural mainstream still persists today in a form separate from mass-produced popular culture. Propaganda by word of mouth rather than via the media, example in the form of jokes or urban legends. With the widespread use of the internet from the 1990s, the distinction between mass media and word of mouth has become blurred. Although the folkloric elements of popular culture engages heavily with the commercial element, the public has its own taste and it may not always embrace every cultural or subcultural item sold. Moreover, beliefs and opinions about the products of commercial culture spread by word of mouth and become modified in the process and in the same manner that folklore evolves. Many people say that popular culture is a tool that higher ranking people in society and elites use to control the people below them in the society. It is also said that popular culture dulls the minds of the common man, making them more passive and easier to control, although popular culture can also be used as a means of rebellion against the ways and culture of dominant subcultures. So far, I had explained to you how the Western societies have given rise to popular culture like films, videos and documentaries. These are imported into India. As such, the way the media is understood today is completely Western, except in the form of Indian film. Most of the popular culture that is widely spread across India is still Western. We have to de-Westernize this culture and give a greater boost to Indian variant of popular culture, exploiting various arts to have a fillip to the Indian fine arts and traditions. Here I offer you a little critical description of how the popular culture that has flown to us from the West has been looked at in relation to Indian culture and its fine arts. India's modern popular imagery results from the major cultural and technological shifts during the 19th century. Mass production of images, new means of visualizing myths and religious legends generated new fields of tension in the sacred, erotic, political and colonial landscapes. The prevailing eclecticism of visuality frequently led to an arbitrariness in piling up images from diverse visual sources, developing an ambivalent language of collage and citation that further facilitated the seizure of new aesthetic and cultural content. The popular Indian imagery that emerged during 19th and the 20th century is viewed not as an object to be seen or a text to be read, but as a process by which social and subjective identities are formed. The new popular imagery grew out of major cultural and technological transformations that occurred in the 19th century, which included the impact of the pedagogy of the colonial art school, the exposure to European images circulating the Indian market, the advent of new art materials, new techniques of engraving including lithography and oleography, great influence of photography as well as the proscenium stage. The colonial art school's emphasis on perspective and realism endowed the idealized traditional imagery with more tangible and sensual presence. This combined with the newly introduced photography and the proscenium theatre in the usage of electric yet powerful iconic and narrative formations enabled a depiction that heightened corporeality and individuality. These factors engendered a new class of popular cultic, mythological and nationalist imagery. Its mass production and circulation became a potent instrument in creating and negotiating interstices between the sacred, the erotic, the political and the colonial modern. The prevailing eclecticism of visuality also led to the piling up of images from diverse visual cultures on one picture plane, which effectuated an ambivalent language of collage and citation, which further facilitated seizure of aesthetic and cultural meaning. The present day outburst of the visual image is evident in advertising companies, on billboards, calendars, stickers, magazines, posters, in TV broadcasts and films, and the proliferation of material all over the Indian cities, in restaurants and shops, on the roadside and over the facades of buildings, in taxis, trucks and buses has played a major role in shaping the Indian population's identity in terms of gender, sexuality, ethnicity, religion and power, as well as enhancing their personal and social values, alongside more importantly in forging ideological conceptions of the nation itself. However, the first revolution in image replication and its mass consumption took place in the 19th century with the arrival of the new printing technologies. Thus, in the manner of speaking, had preempted the processes and effects of current new media. Before the establishment of indigenous ventures, Hindu mythological pictures were printed in Germany, then imported to India via British firms. Their vast 19th century image manufacture transformed the nature of Hindu belief, worship, but also through the realistic, illusionist work of artists like Ravi Verma and several of his counterparts. In a sense, classical Hindu mythology was revived, romanticized and circulated all over the country. This set in motion a process of reconfiguration of the culturally heterogeneous Indian space into a more homogeneous Hindu space based on a commonly shared new iconic visuality. It was this new iconic visuality shared by a rising national community which was to be instrumental in consolidating the ideology of Hindu nation before and after independence. The cinema of India consists of films produced in the nation of India. Cinema is immensely popular in India with as many as 1,600 films produced in various languages every year. Indian cinema produces more films watched by more people than any other country. In 2011, over 3.5 billion tickets were sold across India. More than Hollywood, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Trivandrum and Bangalore are the major centers of film production in India. As of 2013, India ranked first in terms of annual film output, followed by Nollywood, Hollywood and China. India produced 1,602 feature films. The Indian film industry reached overall revenues of 1.86 billion in 2011. In 2015, India had a total box office gross of US dollars 2.1 billion, third largest in the world. The overall revenues of Indian cinema reached US dollars 1.3 billion in 2000. The industry is segmented by language. The Hindi language film industry is known as Bollywood in the largest sector, representing 43% of box office revenues. The combined revenues of Telugu and Tamil film industries represent 36%. The South Indian film industry encompasses 5 film centers: Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada and Tulu. Another prominent film culture is Bengali cinema known as Tollywood, which was largely associated with the parallel cinema movement. In contrast to the masala films more prominent in Bollywood and Tamil films at the time. Indian cinema is a global enterprise. Its films have following throughout Southern Asia and across Europe, North America, Asia, the Greater Middle East, Eastern Africa, China and elsewhere, reaching in over 90 countries. Transnational blockbusters over $300 million worldwide. Millions of Indians overseas watch Indian films, accounting for some 12% of revenues. Music rights alone account for 4 to 5% of net revenues. Global enterprises such as Universal Pictures, 20th Century Fox, Sony Pictures, Walt Disney Pictures and Warner Brothers invested in the industry along with Indian enterprises such as AVM Production, Prasad's Group, Sun Pictures, PVP Cinemas, G, UTV, Suresh Productions, Eros International, Aingran International, Pyramids, Cimera, Oscar Films and AdLabs. By 2003, as many as 30 film production companies had been listed in the National Stock Exchange of India. Video is an electronic medium for the recording, copying, playback, broadcasting and display of moving visual media. Video was first developed for mechanical television systems which were quickly replaced by cathode ray tube systems which were later replaced by flat panel displays of several types. Video systems vary in display, resolution, aspect of ratio, refresh rate, color capabilities and other qualities. Analog and digital variants exist and can be carried on a variety of media including radio, broadcast, magnetic tape, optical discs, computer files and network streaming. Video technology was first developed for mechanical television systems which were quickly replaced by cathode ray tube television system, but several new technologies for video display devices have since been invented. Video was originally exclusively a live technology. Charles Ginsberg led an Amplex research team developing one of the first practical video tape recorder (VTR). In 1951, the first video tape recorder captured live images from television cameras by converting the camera's electrical impulses and saving the information onto magnetic video tape. Video recorders were sold for $50,000 in 1956 and video tapes cost $300 per 1 hour reel. However, prices gradually dropped over the years. In 1971, Sony began selling video cassettes recorder, decks and tapes to the consumer market. The use of digital techniques in video created digital video. It could not initially compete with the analog video due to early digital uncompressed video requiring impractically high bit rates. Practical digital video was made possible with discrete cosine transform coding lossy compression process developed in the early 1970s. DCT coding was adopted into motion compensated DCT video compression in the late 1980s, starting with H261, the first practical digital video coding standard. Digital video was later capable of higher quality and eventually much lower cost. Digital video was later capable of higher quality and eventually much lower cost than earlier analog technology. After the invention of the DVD in 1997 and later in the Blu-ray disc in 2006, sales of video tape and recording equipment plummeted. Advances in computer technology allows even inexpensive personal computers and smartphones to capture, store, edit and transmit digital video, further reducing the cost of video production, allowing program makers and broadcasters to move to tapeless production. The advent of the digital broadcasting and subsequent digital television translation is the process of relegating analog video to the status of a legacy technology in the most parts of the world. As of 2015, with the increasing use of high resolution video cameras with improved dynamic range and color gamuts and high dynamic range digital intermediate data formats with improved color depth, modern digital video technology is converging with the digital film technology. The number of still pictures per unit of a time of video ranges from 6 or 8 frames as per second frames for old mechanical cameras to 120 or more frames per second for new professional cameras. PAL standards and CCAM specially 25 frames with NTSC standards specify 29.97 frames. Film is shot at the slower frame rate of 24 frames per second, which slightly complicates the process of transforming a cinematic motion picture to video. The minimum frame rate to achieve a comfortable illusion of a moving image is about 16 frames per second. Video can be interlaced or progressive. In progressive scan systems, each refresh period updates all scan lines in each frame in a sequence. When displaying a natively progressive broadcast or recorded signal, the result is optimum spatial resolution of both the stationary and moving parts of the image. Interlacing was invented as a way to reduce the flicker in early mechanical and CRT displays without increasing the number of complete frames per second. Interlacing retains detail while requiring lower bandwidth compared to progressive scanning. In interlaced video, the horizontal scan lines of each complete frame are treated as if numbered consecutively and captured as two fields, an odd field consisting of the odd numbered lines and an even field consisting of even numbered lines. Analog display devices reproduce each frame, effectively doubling the frame rate as far as perceptible overall flicker is concerned. When the image capture device acquires the fields one at a time rather than dividing up a complete frame after it is captured. The frame rate for motion is effectively doubled as well, resulting in smoother, more lifelike reproduction of rapidly moving parts of the image when viewed on the interlaced CRT display. NTSC, PAL and CCAM are interlaced formats. Abbreviated video resolution specifications often include an I to indicate interlacing. For example, PAL video format is often described as 576 I50, whereas 576 indicates the total number of horizontal scan lines. I indicates interlacing and 50 indicates 50 fields per second. When displaying a natively interlaced signal or a progressive scan device, overall spatial resolution is degraded by simple line doubling, artifacts such as flickering or comb effects in moving parts of the image which appear unless special signal processing eliminates them. A procedure known as de-interlacing can optimize the display of an interlaced video signal from an analog, DVD or satellite source or a progressive scan device such as an LCD television, digital video projector or plasma panel. De-interlacing cannot, however, produce video quality that is equivalent to true progressive scan source material. Aspect ratio describes the proportional relationship between the width and height of video screens and video picture elements. All popular video formats are rectangular and so can be described by a ratio between width and height. The ratio width to height for a traditional television screen is 4:3 or about 1.33:1. High definition television use an aspect ratio of 16:9 or about 1.78:1. The aspect ratio of a full 35 mm film frame with soundtrack is 1.375:1. Video film boom has taken over India in a phenomenal manner. Students, household members, professionals are using videos for filmmaking. Whether they are functions or celebrations, video filming is now an inevitable activity. Video filming happens high in marriage functions in India. With digital video recording available at low prices, even cameras like SLRs are used for making films of marriages. There is a boom in the photo studio business activities across India. Conferences, seminars and government official meetings are also being filmed using video cameras. A documentary film is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document reality primarily for the purpose of instruction, education or maintaining a historical record. Documentary has been described as a film-making practice, a cinematic tradition and mode of audience reception that is continuously evolving and is without clear boundaries. Documentary films were originally called actuality films and were 1 minute or less in length. Over time, documentaries have evolved to be longer in length and to include more categories, some examples being educational, observational and docufiction. Documentaries meant to be informative works and are often used within schools as a resource to teach various principles. The lesson makes a formal introduction to popular culture that encompasses beliefs and traditions and customs. There are several dimensions to it. Films, videos and documentaries besides music albums are making up the core of popular culture. There are various platforms available for the youth and adults to enjoy the popular culture in many ways. The lesson has simply documented the most commonly available formats such as films, videos and documentaries for the purpose of taking you into digital world of entertainment.